Hi. Tracking tutorial. Let's do it. Hey guys, pvpsound here, and today we're gonna do a tracking tutorial for my Minecraft server McDuel.net. It's a new soup PvP server that's opening up for the newest versions of Minecraft instead of being stuck in 1.8 and all the pre-1.9 updates. So you're gonna be able to play around with all the new features, the cave update, the nether update, and all of that good stuff. And for all the OGs that used to play MC PvP, MC Combat, MC Teams, all of those servers, you guys might know what tracking is, but for all the new players that's coming on and playing, they might not know, because they might be coming from faction servers or high pixel style servers, and they might not know what tracking is. So this tutorial is gonna teach you guys all the basics. But before we can start to use the tracker, we first need to know what it is and how it works. So pretty much what it is a thing that you build that, oopsie, pretty much looks like this. It has a diamond block in the center, obsidian arms, and then gold blocks at each of the ends that you want to track at. So it doesn't have to look exactly like this. You know, you could build it just like this in one direction, or you could just build it like this and have no gold blocks at each end, or you could have it like this. But in that case, you would only be able to track in this direction and then in this direction, because you need the gold blocks at the end to be able to track, and the obsidian arms equal to how long of a distance that you can track. So the longer the arm, the further you can track. But hey, I hear you asking, why would I want to use this thing? Why is a tracker good to have? Well, it is a good thing to have because you could use it to track players to their base location or whatever location they are at while you're tracking. Because with a tracker like this that you build, you can track players' live location, like aka where they are located right now. And because of this, you could potentially find their base, steal all their items, grief them, raid them, take all their shit, and be rich. And now we need to know how it functions as well. So it works in the way that every one obsidian block equals to 25 blocks of tracking distance that you can track in the real world here. So I have illustrated this in the way of a chessboard here. So each one of these squares are 25 blocks by 25 blocks, which is how far you can track with one obsidian block and gold block. The gold block also equals 25 blocks of tracking distance, just like the obsidian block does. So let's say you have 3 obsidian blocks and 1 gold block at the end. That would mean you're able to track to this square, that square, that square, and that one, because that is 1, 2, 3, 4. But finally, now enough of that, let's get to tracking, shall we? So I have placed down a dummy account somewhere on the chessboard here, and now we're gonna have to find them. So the first thing I need to do is stand on the diamond block. You need to be standing on it to be able to track. And then you can use the /track_all command, which will track all players within your tracking range, or you can track a specific player. So just for the sake of this, I'm just gonna track a specific player, and we can see that he shows up on east and he shows up on south. So then we need to press F3 on the keyboard, which will pull up our coordinates. So now we need to check which way we're facing. So he showed up on east and on south, and east is this way and south is this way. So that means he is somewhere within this quadrant right here. So then what we gotta do is just pick a direction to start tracking him in. I'm gonna pick east to start out with, and that is on the X axis, the X coordinate, which you can see because the X is moving right there. As you can see, it's circled in. So what we need to do is we need to start narrowing this arm down so we can see exactly where he is. So we've narrowed it down a little. Now we stand on the diamond block again, track him again. And now you see it went from east 175 to east 150. So we went down 1 increment, which is 25 blocks. He disappeared on there. He was on east and now he's gone after we changed 1 block. So that means we have his X coordinate now. And now we need to move on to the C coordinate, which is on the south axis, which is here. So you can see I'm moving up and down, so you can see the C coordinate is changing. And now we need to do the exact same thing here. We need to narrow this down a little, and then we stand on the diamond block again, track him again. See, it went from south 150 to south 125, but he's still there, so we need to narrow it down 1 more until he disappears. And you see, now it's gone. So he went from south 125 to south 100. So went down one increment, now he's gone. That means we got him on south as well, on the z-axis. So we have the coordinates, now we just need to calculate them. So mathematics, very fun, yes. But there is no need to worry because calculating this is very, 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 very simple. It's not difficult at all. So first of all, we need to be standing, make sure we're standing on the diamond block first, because this is where we're going to calculate from to get the exact coordinates, to get the correct exact coordinates. So we need to pull up F3 again to check our X coordinate, which is here, and our C coordinate, which is here. So just for the sake of the tutorial, I made it easy. So it's 50 on the X and 50 on the C. So they're the same, easy to calculate, yada yada. Now, because we are in the southeast quadrant, we are on the plus plus side. And basically what that means is that when we calculate the coordinates, we need to add to the numbers that we calculate. Instead of doing minus, we do plus in this case, because we're on the plus plus side. But if it was on this side, or this side, or this side, it might be plus minus, minus plus, or minus minus. It could be whatever. You need to check which quadrant you're tracking towards to calculate it correctly. But in this case, it's plus plus. Now, one way, which might be easier for most of you to know when you should do plus and minus, is if, let's say we're tracking in this direction, east, which is the X coordinate. You see I'm moving up and down it. And when I'm moving from the diamond block and when I'm moving out, you can see that the X is increasing. So that means we need to add. And if I were to move in this direction, let's say I was tracking in this direction, you could see the X is going down. When you see when I'm walking in this direction, you see the X goes down. So that means you use minus. And same on this side, if the C goes up like that, from 50 to 55, moving right there, we use plus. And if you see in this direction, it goes down, we use minus. So first what we do is we take our X coordinate, which is 50. So then we take 50 plus 150, which is 200. So the X coordinate that we have tracked this player to right now is 200. Now we need to check the C coordinate. We're standing on 50. 50 plus 100 equals 150. You see, you need to take your current coordinate that you're standing on first, and then add or subtract with the number that you tracked. So the coordinate that you're standing on the diamond block first, which in this case 50 on the X and 50 on the Z, and then plus or minus whichever one it is in that particular case, with the number that you tracked. So now we have the exact coordinates. So it's 200X and 150C. The 100 is just the elevation, so I'm just gonna be very high up in the sky here. Now you can see I'm standing right on the edge of this increment, of this 25 block track increment here. And I got the correct coordinates. I tracked them to the right place. And something that you might notice here is that the player that we tracked here is not standing at the exact coordinates that we tracked, which is right here. This block right here is the exact coordinates that we tracked, but he's standing all the way over there on the other side of the square. Now this is because we can only track in units of 25, so we can only track 25 blocks at a time. So the player could be anywhere within this 25 by 25 square. So he could be all the way at the edge over on this side. He could be almost in the middle here. He could be over here. You know, you get it, right? Now, when you have tracked the correct coordinates and are traveling there, you need to keep in mind that these coordinates could be in the overworld, they could be in the nether, or they could be in the end dimensions. They could be, it's interdimensional tracking, so you only need to build a tracker in one dimension to be able to track in all of them. And also, it does not specify a Y level, which is the elevation up and down. So the base, or whatever it is you track this player to, could be anything. It could be all the way up in the sky or all the way down at bedrock. That is very important to remember. Now, I hope this tracking tutorial helped you. And if you have any questions, comment down below and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. Now, anyway, happy hunting and join mcduel.net.